motherfucking place tonight. Show's about to start, guys. Everybody get to your seats. Bronsolino's coming to the stage. You about to know what they all talking about. Step in the door, Bronsolini, the mayor, the Kush.
Boys, we're in France, World Surf League. Chicks are surfing right now. It's kind of amazing. Wes on the guitar, yeah.
Dyslexic monkey. Is that the other way around? Dyslexic chicken. Dyslexic monkey. Oh.
That you start to ask questions. It's not till maybe college and on the later side of it that you're with people that are getting jobs in the future that you start to do it. There is no prep or education at a young age. I said, so you need a fucking man that can go there and go, hey man, let me tell you why y'all gotta stop taking these free credit cards. Let me tell you why you gotta stop putting a cable in somebody else's name and continue to fuck it up. Let me tell you why you gotta stop being okay with not having a bank account.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Welcome back to Wessin The World. I'm Wes and I'm currently in your world. So I'm basically watching the new Kevin Hart and Joe Rogan podcast. Amazing. So obviously, if you know anything about me, you know that basically all I do is watch lectures and watch podcasts, maybe a few movies, meditate and exercise. It's pretty much the bulk of my life at the moment, and I'm very, very happy with that. Because each one of those things both inspires me and strengthens me in different ways. And this is what I can sort of pass on, and the reason why I'm doing these podcasts or rantcasts are because I don't know, there's no one on my sort of on my level just being honest and being free with information. Everyone's sort of guarded. They're guarding their information, and they're only going to tell you if you ask them about it. So this is why I've sort of, in my journey, and I can go into a bit about my journey up until now a little bit later, but this one I just wanted to make sure that while I was doing this podcast was evidently 100% clear. I'm doing this to show that it can be done. You can have opinions. You can have a view and a perspective about the world, and you can put it out there and have it viewed by other people, and then you can find the people that are like you. None of this, you know, going into a social setting and just dealing with who is there. I'm talking using the internet for a genuinely search filtering reason, so that you can find the people that are most like you. Share your views, and you may find out that the people that share your views are a massive population of people. Because what I see at the time, what I see right now, is a lot of fear. Fear stops you from looking a little bit further. Fear stops people from seeing the truth. And it's weird. There's a lot of things happening politically. There's a lot of things happening ecologically. There's a lot of things happening socially. And most people just don't want to talk about them. Maybe because their egos can't restructure itself to have that incorporated into their worldview, because it weighs them down too much. Yeah, I get it. You can't. Now, I'm not going to refer to people as sheep in a discriminatory sense, because people that are sheep, or people that are shepherds, or people that are wolves need to be obvious and need to be open with what they are. Because if you're a wolf, you're very proud that you're a wolf, you're a hunter, and those that hunt don't get hunted. And that's very true. The sheep has got a philosophy like, I'm just an easygoing person, just getting through life, got a nice job, keeps me afloat, got a nice family. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to find out the true meaning of the universe. I'm not looking to find out the true motives behind the political system. Now, the shepherd's got a slightly sort of different view on the world. It's a hunter, but it's also trying to find peace of mind in the world for itself. And peace of mind, it finds, the shepherd finds that peace of mind is kept entirely in the support of the sheep, in support of the shepherds, and in support of the wolves. We support everyone. Well, obviously keeping myself as a shepherd, obviously. I may just very well be a sheep. Don't know. But what I'm trying to be is a shepherd, and I'm open and I'm honest about that, because what I'm trying to do is give you lessons about the brain, teach you a bit more about the brain that I wish that I'd have known when I was 22, making stupid mistakes, running into dangerous situations with very little knowledge about how to handle those situations. You know, just being in a band, being in a heavy metal band and not really knowing much at all about heavy metal. Imagine that. You're the lead singer of a band. You have no clue why people like metal at all. You just know that Lamb of God's real good and you want to just make a song like Lamb of God right now. And then out of that created a wealth of information that flooded my world, and now I'm really into heavy metal music, where I started off very hip hop. So I had to expose myself to that world in the rawest, most difficult way possible, because it forced my ego into a sense where I'm going to have to submit who I am and let who I am not die in the past and assert myself into this new life. And that was a new chapter. Coming out of that, went to university, not a very educated person, very dyslexic, coming to video games design for the first time, and then having to readjust my ego again and to submit myself again, to let myself die, to enter as a new person the university social situation and the university educational situation of not knowing anything about making games. And this isn't like a brag. This is just like me taking what I was, smashing that apart, and then having to re-inject myself back into my life as a different person. Not different person, I'm still a consciousness, my opinions are still the same, my beliefs are still the same. At this point, I'm restructuring my ego to suit my environment. Obviously it's the same thing that we've all done right now, because everyone on the planet has had to rediscover who they are as people, smash apart who they were working 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and they've had to re-inject themselves into this quarantine with a new self. And I want that to be, that's exciting, to go into a new environment. And at the start it was scary, and then you start to relearn who you are as a person. And that's why I'm making this podcast at this point, because I want to be able to document that change and that renaissance of ego at this point, because I feel like it's the perfect time to do that. Also, I've got a lot of time on my hands. But also it is the perfect time, because I can take all of my experience and then re-inject that into these things. And then you can maybe think about your experience and maybe where you've had to restructure your ego to inject yourself as a new person. And it's just an incredible thing that obviously people have the ability to do, but not often have the ability or the opportunity to do it. And my mom's coming in from the left right now to show me a video in the middle of, oh no, she's not showing me a video. Re-energize, guys. Re-energize. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, to restructure one's ego, to accept that obviously you are in the situation that you are for the reason that has become apparent. Whether you think it's a lie or you think it's a conspiracy or anything, but just know that it's happening. Just know that right now, the restructure to find out what you really like, and the ability to go into it, and the realization that you're not so good at it, are all parts of the journey. I'm not very good at these podcasts. I don't have the best equipment, but it's the process of making these videos, putting myself into a mindset. I wasn't really into a mindset to do this right now. But I just thought that now this is the perfect time. Even when you think that it's not the perfect time, it is the perfect time. It might be the perfect time for what you want to say right now. And that's why I did it. Because I was sort of deflated a little bit. So I haven't meditated this morning. Just going to meditate now in front of you guys. And hopefully that you guys can join me. Because what I want to do in this podcast is just exercise a little bit about what this podcast is about. And what it's about is me sharing my experience with you guys. And just the meditation. Bringing it back to meditation. Not to make myself the star at all. I know you're looking at me. It's very confrontation. It's very direct. But this isn't about me. This is about... I wish I had a different word for it, because meditation just seems to make people run for the hills. But, you know, it's just the way it is. It's a good bottle. If you ever get Lucozade, it's 2 for 1. Do not buy it, because they've halved the glucose or the syrup, and they've put it into 2 bottles. And you basically just buy 1 bottle for twice the price. So, that's aside. It's just something that I've learned from just drinking Lucozade. Also, Lucozade and whiskey gotta be the original. Perfect. But anyway, side on from that point. Whiskey-sade is the Don. It's about the meditation. And so if you want to join me, I'm just going to embark on another meditation journey. I'm going to take you up to the point of nothingness, up to the point where you can't really feel your body, up to the point where you're maybe not so much thinking about your life, but maybe thinking more about the present moment. And the way that we're going to do this is that we're going to use the transcendental technique. Now, I've wanted to make a video for a long time about the transcendental meditation technique. Now, it's championed by sort of David Lynch and the David Lynch Foundation and the Transcendental Federation of Meditation. That would definitely be more satisfying for the ego if they were called the Meditation Federation. It worked for pro wrestling, but yeah, yeah. So it's been championed for years by people like Jerry Seinfeld, Russell Brand, David Lynch, incredible director. And I got into it through Russell Brand. That was my journey. So I came to it through him. And what I found is that even an addict, someone who's addicted to heroin and crack cocaine, someone who's been dragged through the reeds of life, and as Russell Brand is, and came out the other side a meditative, non-drug taking human being, which people don't think that can exist. And it's not as easy as just saying no. If you're an addict, it's not as easy as just saying no. So it came to this sort of I started learning through Russell Brand, and then I watched a video that I will put at the end of this video, and it was just the world explained to me in terms of like matter and energy. Matter and energy, 2 different things. Now, you're not matter. You're not the bricks, the leaves, the trees. Your body is. But what's speaking is a series of a variation of electrical signals traveling through the brain, culminating towards a single point, which is what your perspective is. And then you look out, and then the world is there. Now, using the technique, biology has given us a human brain, mind, which is our animal mind, which is constantly thinking about stuff to make us better, to put us down and make us feel worse, or just to take us to an emotional source. So if we're feeling sad, our ego's going to give us things to make us sad, to travel towards that source. If we're feeling happy, our mind's going to give us, a lot of people are very cynical, and our brain gives us negative thoughts to bring us out of that happy space into a negative space. But it always comes back to the source. Thought returns you to source. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a technique of 2 words repeated that have no meaning. what's this going to do? This is not going to return us to the source of our unhappiness. This is not going to return us to the source of our happiness. This is not going to push us further and try to make us better and more adjusted and get closer to that gold status with the gold trophies and the medals and any of that shit. It's going to bring us closer to the source that we are, that is not connected to emotion, it's not connected to guilt, it's not connected to trauma, it's connected to just energy that we are, before we inject ourselves into the world and start to feel bad about what the world tells about us. And the technique is so simple, and this is the beauty of it, because it's not very simple to do, but it is so simple to be told about it. I don't want you to feel bad about the fact that you can't pull yourself away from thought. That's absolutely fine. You've trained your mind to be attached to thought, and that's fine. Everyone's done that. Everyone did that, because the brain was never explained to you when you were growing up. Your brain was never explained that what it does. In the East, they do have more access to this, and this is why they just seem to defeat us in every sense, intelligently, technologically, maybe not socially. They don't seem to have their social environments down, but I'm not been there yet, so I'm not judging. So all my Asian friends, I got friends from Japan, incredible. June, you're an amazing person, love you. Incredible people, but I've only met the people that travel, so hold tight. I will be doing videos when I hit Asia. But yeah, so the technique, very simple. Repeat 2 words that have no meaning. I say Om and I say Sa. Feels very silly, I know. But when I breathe in, I say Om in my mind, with my mind voice. Sounds really weird, yeah. Sounds metaphysical. Imagine a giraffe. Where's that giraffe? It's in your mind's eye. So what are the eyes that are seeing that giraffe? Say the word Lucasade. Now I'm stealing this from KRS-One's lecture, I do know, but I will put that video at the end as well. Lucasade. Say the words Lucasade in your mind. Weird, yeah? You've been hearing it all your life, but you put that word there. That was not a word that was put there. You have a manual mind and an automatic mind. The automatic mind is your monkey mind, sending you stuff all the time. Your manual mind, we don't use a lot. We do talk to ourselves. We can say something to ourselves, but our automatic mind can answer and say, I am great, and then your automatic mind goes, no, you're not. But it's the voice that you didn't put there, is the voice that is not you. It's just your biological self speaking to you based on what you know about achievements in the world, making you feel bad when you're an amazing, beautiful, incredible person at your core. And then anything that extrapolates out to that is totally up to, obviously, your ego and what the ego outside of you think of you. So yeah, repeating 2 words. I am overcomplicating this. I always try not to, but you know, it's very difficult because you have to cater for the logical mind at the same time as you're introducing something new into the creative mind. Otherwise, the logical mind will just be like, nah, this is a waste of time. But it's not a waste of time. It's given me an incredible satisfaction with life, even in the hardest of times. Even in the most incredibly emotionally wrenching of times, I've still been able to sit back and look at the journey and be like, oh wow, this is like the time in a Disney movie where, I don't want to use Disney movies as an excuse, but like this is like the time in a movie where the dark shit happens before the hero takes the journey and then gets the victory. You know? That's what all of these lows are. Sometimes the victory is just escaping out the low. So yeah, I didn't want to make this video too long, but it's already 19 minutes, and thank you very much for watching this far. But yeah, I'm going to just do a 10-minute meditation. No, it seems like a long time, but it's really not that long. Probably spent 10 minutes on your phone today. I did. But yeah, I can still have 10 minutes on my phone and have 10 minutes meditation. But when I say these two words, in my mind, those words pull me back from thought. Problem is with thought is that your manual mind and your automatic mind are in sync with each other. When you detach yourself from one automatic thought, it'll attach itself to another automatic thought. It's like a sort of like a treadmill, or what are those things in factories called? I forget. If you know, comment in the comment section. But these words are just going to pull you back from thought, and we just want to escape thought for just a second. Well, not escape thought. We want to sit back from thought so that we can detach ourselves from it, so that our minds can acknowledge that, oh, the manual mind isn't connected to the automatic mind, because you're doing a two-part realization there. The automatic mind's realizing, oh, I don't have control of the body. I just have the influence of the body. And the manual mind is saying, yes, oh God, yeah, I can do anything I want. I can drink this if I want. I am the will. I am the will of the body. I am the will of God. You are God. I'm sorry to break this to you. You're God. All God did was make 7 things, 7 colours, 7 notes in an octave. He made the world in 7 days. I found out something else was 7 now. You can only fold a piece of paper in half 7 times. No more. Any size of paper. Now that is just awfully weird. That everything has 7 textures, 7 tastes. Please research this if you want, because at this point I can just make stuff up. 7 colours. Oh God, yeah. But yeah. So all God did, if he, well, he does exist. Well, he did. Well, he's in us. God, it's so hard to explain to secular. It's so hard to explain in a secular way that God is in you, and God is everywhere, and God is everyone. And it's a singular life form that planted its seed here 200 billion years ago in the sea, became a tadpole, became a fish, became da-da-da-da-da-da. And our paleontology can refute this, and, you know, not paleontology, but, you know, the study of archaeology can take this apart and obviously say that we haven't come from fish. But I think if you find that every organism on this planet has came back from a single point, and then we've just extrapolated from there. Some things have gone off and done their own thing, like wolves and stuff like that, but we're essentially all just reductions of the same point. And then we went up to 4 apes, and then 2 of those, I think one of those apes brain size doubled in 2 million years, and then we had cities, systems, functions, facilities, and religions, spirituality. 2 million years. In 250 million years of human history, in 2 million years, the brain size doubled. Why? Things like meditation, psychedelic drugs, medicine of the ancient tribes. Not psychedelic drugs, it's just what that's called now. But medicines from these ancient indigenous cultures of South America and Cambodia. But yeah, I did digress there. I digressed there massively. Wow, I went into the entire history of humankind. But yeah, you are God. Planted your seed here, and we are now the caretakers of Earth. We're doing a bit of a bad job, but we're getting better. We're taking the hints from nature, and we're getting a little bit better every year. Yeah, because mankind is waking up, and we are at the crest. We are at the crest of the wave, just as the tipping point of mankind's waking up. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. In the human brain size doubled in 2 million years. We're gonna have to wait like 40 years at least for a altogether realization. But it's happening, and it's been happening since the 70s-ish. After the post-war, and we realised that war's not really a great way to get things, trade's better. Trade costs less. especially if you own all of it, China. Jesus. But yeah, yeah. So back to the meditation. Sorry that I've filled your head with all this information now. It's probably going to be counterproductive when I get into this meditation. But if you can clear your mind after all that information, if it's given you any sort of resolution to any of your questions, I've got all this information, it's readily available, I can distribute it at will. Like all the stuff about God, that's Grant Morrison and his experiences. Robert Anton Wilson, Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, all of these philosophers, Confucius, dates way back. All this information has been collected over time, telos, and it's easily distributed back to yourself, which has been collected by me and then, delineated into this medium. But yeah, so we're going to meditate after all of that. Thank you very much for watching this far. You're now going to watch a complete transformation in my ego, because I'm going to go back to being an absolute blank slate. Yeah, so let's do it. So we're just repeating 2 words, sort of at the base of your spine. We're actually just between the eyes. We're just going to repeat 2 words inside the mind. Om So. Om So. Om So. If you remember what that sounds like, just in the rhythm of your breathing. Breathe in. And on the exhale in your mind, say so. And on the inhale, say Om. And on the exhale, say so. Just going to repeat that. You can keep your eyes closed if you want, just focusing on the black at the back of your eyelids. And just witnessing how busy that visual is, but just sitting back from it. Om So. Om So. And if you are taken off by a thought, maybe a negative thought, maybe a positive thought, just remember and bring yourself back to the 2 words. And it's okay if you do get taken off by thought, it's okay. Perfectly fine. Every time you come back, you go into a deeper level. And the bell is just a frequency. to remind the mind that we're saying the two words. Now focusing your manual voice on anything but those two words. Just keep pushing those words out. So you're just journeying to the base of all thought. And the mind will automatically dive if you repeat those two words. The mind just knows to dive. And from here we have the power to do anything. From here we have the power to talk our opinions. From this position we have the beautiful view of what is. The trees, the leaves, the sun, the sky. Is all that life is. Just repeating those words. Thank you very much for joining me. I've been Wessin The World. I've been Wes, and I've been in your world. Stay blessed, don't stress. You never know what's next. And it's exciting. It's not scary. And that's 33 minutes. I have been 33. It's my age. Forever. Take care.
I must